Hi guys, this is Nimsh and today I have a short vlog for you about Elite and Chieftain. So E.T.C and my thoughts on E.T.C. Basically, you know that recently I've been playing the Casino Mage, which I call E.T.C Mage because I've changed one card and one card only, which is I cut Azure Drake and I added Elite and Chieftain. This is exactly what I did a couple of years ago. Was it 2 years ago or 1 year ago? Well, basically the IM Katowice finals, I had the Temple Mage, which was a bit different than this one, and I swapped an Azure Drake with Elite and Chieftain. I really like E.T.C as a card because it's a 5/5, which makes difference, not like a 4/4 Drake, which means that I can kill Belcher, it doesn't die to True Silver, so it's actually a solid card, and also it gives a card which is a spell. So, you know, like a big Spell Slinger. Right now Spell Slinger is playable because it gives you a spell, it's obviously a random spell, but still this deck benefits from spells, with cards like Flame Waker, or even something like Sorcerer's Apprentice. So E.T.C, I think it's absolutely playable in this specific deck where we play on tempo, when we are the first to play a big minion, when there is nothing on opposing board, and when the opponent has to decide what to do with the card they got. Like even if they get Rogue's Do It From, it's only 4 damage, so they need something more to kill E.T.C, and it's 4 mana. So I want to show you a couple of games, 2 games exactly with E.T.C, and tell you how it works. So the first game is versus Druid, and you can see the deck list on the right. There is one card missing, which is Mirror Images, and I start versus Druid. I feel like the Druid matchup is alright. We do have a lot of cool minions that we can play, something like a Flame Waker. We don't have the Mirror Entity, but opponent doesn't know about it. So we have Mad Scientist and Effigy, which can actually fool them a bit. So you can see that Mirror Images is already in the hand. I have Sorcerer's Apprentice as well, and there is the E.T.C card, which is a cool 5-drop. Alright, so no Wild Growth from Druid, which is really good for us. There is an Apprentice and Mirror Images. So I'm thinking, do I cast it right now or do I not cast it? Basically, I decided that it doesn't matter if I cast it or not. I mean, it matters to keep it in hand if I draw into a Flame Waker or something, because even if I would play the Mirror Images, it doesn't protect my Sorcerer, my Apprentice. Alright, so there's a Shredder, great turn 4 minion from my opponent. I need to react to it somehow. I have Mana Worm, Flame Waker, Coin as well, and those Mirror Images, which now work because I can deal damage. I'm not killing the Shredder, but I can protect my minions from Shredder. And also one burn spell was used, so it's looking good for now. Alright, so from Druid of the Claw, nothing really surprising here. We do have the Fireball, which I love versus Druid of the Claw. It's one of the best answers. Flame Waker just goes for face. This guy doesn't care, just dealing the fire damage and helping here. And also the Worm is being protected. So Mirror Image is really looking well here, but unfortunately for me there is a Wrath, so Flame Waker is going down. A Patient Assassin is so bad, because normally I would play the E.T.C, or maybe even a Water Elemental, but I just don't want to lose it to a 1/1. So I need to go with the smaller minions. I'm going with the 3/4, getting a spell. That's a Hellfire, so that's a pretty good card, especially with the Shade. So I hope that the Shade will not attack, but it might be inevitable. It's possible that opponent doesn't have a way to deal with this. So Patient Assassin being used on the 3/4. I get Effigy, something that he didn't exactly expect, and there is a Dread Scale. Dread Scale is pretty nice, but then it doesn't really kill Thaurissan. I would have to ping here. So the big question is, do I ping? Do I go face, or do I just try to control the board? And well, with this means that I can play E.T.C and ping. I can also play a Vanilla Antonidas. So there's a lot of options for me. If I want to go aggressive, I have 6 damage in hand. So I have Frostbolt and Hellfire. I can basically attack for 4, and then also use the Frostbolt Hellfire in the future turns. So there's an E.T.C effect, the power of heavy metal, which is pretty cool. And I got Rogue's Do It from behind, which means that's another 4 damage, and this decides, I make a decision that I will go for face with so much damage here, but instead of pinging, I want to just protect my E.T.C. Unfortunately, it's weak against swipe, but even if he swipes, he will need to attack Dreadscale with the hero power, which means that's 4 damage. There's Power of the Horde, so nothing really specific. Power of the Horde is one of those cards that I want my opponents to have, because there's not that many taunts, and with this, with the Hellfire Rogues done from behind, I finish the game. So this is a good example where I had a 5/5, that's a very massive minion on board, and my opponent got a card that didn't help him, and I got a card that was really good for me. And now we are playing versus Druid again. Druid is pretty popular, one of the most powerful decks right now on ladder. So you'll see a lot of Druids, Paladins. I like this deck versus Paladin as well. But we are trying to assess how good E.T.C is. So we are getting E.T.C again, Mana Worm, a coin as well, Water Elemental. So those are the cards after the mulligan. I will have to keep them. And versus Druid, you mostly just, as many other decks, you look for Mana Worm, you look for Unstable Portal, Mad Scientist, and getting E.T.C is not terrible, but obviously you don't really want to have him in your opening hand. A second Fireball doesn't look that great. Fireball is a great removal card, but mostly in the beginning of the game you want the minions in this deck specifically. So there is an Aspirant. I need to deal with the Aspirant somehow. I don't want my opponent to play Paladin Shredder on next turn, especially because free mana slot is not that populated in the Druid deck, so I decide to throw away the coin and deal with that Aspirant here. Free mana, it's mostly a shade turn, so I'm expecting just a hero power, which will give me an opportunity to play something like Flamewaker next turn, just turning the options down. There is a shade though, so, well, the shade means that he's getting the damage from the Mana Worm, and now Shade is a 3/3, so nothing really good to deal with the Shade. 2 damage, and can I get one more spell? I actually got Mirror Image, so this is the card missing from the list. Hit Shade 2 times and 1 more time, which means that I have a great advantage. That's the Tempo Mage for you, and I'm just building my board for that E.T.C to be dropped. So here E.T.C, obviously really good, giving me 1 more card with Flamewaker on the board. That's Power of the Horde. It's not the greatest. It summons a random Horde Warrior. It can summon Kern, which is amazing, but well, it's something. It's always a minion as a spell. Unfortunately, Flamewaker died, but my E.T.C is protected here. I can cast Power of the Horde. I have double Fireball in hand. With the Sorcerer's Apprentice, my spells are cheaper, so I can still Power of the Horde here. If I'll get something bigger, that would be great, but I got the minion. So it's not terrible. It's a 2/2. It's always something that I can have on board. Playing Water Elemental might have been better, but on the other hand, having that extra minion, well, it's protecting the E.T.C, which is important again. So E.T.C, that's 8 damage, and now with double Fireball, that's enough damage to finish the game. So as you can see, E.T.C is not bad. Alright, so that will be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys next time.
This video is brought to you by G2A.com.